off that, I'm your role model, so to speak. You know,
would you,
as far as being a man.
so would you
Like,
be?
I'm
Would
your
your
role
feelings be
model. I
hurt
think
if
that's
your son
important.
is? If you're not your son's? Now, here's the thing: you should be your son's role model, 100%, and I think that's the
Right.
case. Because I know that's how it was with both of my parents. But then there's always the celebrity one that you, as a parent, you can't even compete with. But that's fine. I was like, I'm not jealous. I wouldn't be jealous of that. Like if your kid grew up wanting to be like Kobe Bryant. I mean, that's just a natural thing. That's just the way it is. I mean, I would be more upset if my kid wanted to be like Young Thug or a rapper.
Right. Because the thing,
I
at the
think
end of the
part of
day, at the end of the day, you look at that. You look at that athlete, and you look at, okay, they're striving towards being great in their field.
Yeah.
And that's what you want your child to identify with. You want them to identify with them wanting to be the best at what they're doing, and you want them to take those kind of qualities and characteristics from them. I don't think you, to the point where I kind of said earlier about not knowing them personally, but you kind of you separate it from that level 2 for your child. You don't let it get to that. So you want them to take those other things, and you don't even, but like Lance said earlier too, you're not going to just, if you know somebody that's a scab, you're not going to allow your child to really follow that person like that, no matter how good they are. You're going to point out why, that's not someone that you look up to or someone that you want to be like.
What athlete right now in any sport would you say is a phenomenal athlete, but you wouldn't take your child, you wouldn't buy the jersey for your child and say, no, this is not someone I want you to be or to be inspired by? Who is that one athlete right now? It just can't get right in any sport.
Oh man!
Honestly, mine is Cam Newton. I can't stand Cam Newton.
Oh wow!
Oh damn!
Because it's just,
I would have expected that one.
No, it's because of this whole, like, he won't take a stance.
So his whole changeover, the 180-degree turn he took.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool. Not every black athlete has to take a stance on like Black Lives Matter or any of those things, but don't just be like that. Yeah, don't just be like a contrarian for no reason. And to be fair, he does a lot of really, really good things. I guess that's not fair for me to say because he does a lot of really positive things for the community, like a lot, and a lot of it goes unnoticed because he doesn't do it for the attention. But that for me, because of who he is. He had the opportunity to not say anything and be fine, but I mean, for what he was saying, it's kind of crazy. But we don't have any like Pac-Man Jones, and even Pac-Man turned his life around.
I say Josh Gordon, man.
Yeah, but nobody knows who he is, though. Nobody knows who he is.
Josh Gordon. Josh. I mean, they don't know why he is because they don't know who he is. Some of our listeners who don't follow sports or follow the NFL might not know who he is because he hasn't been relevant outside of a failing drug test within the past 2-3 years.
Is he still
That's
kicked
why
out?
they wouldn't know who he is. Huh?
Is he in the league or no?
No, he checked himself into rehab. So I think, and it's assumed that he checked himself into rehab because it was suspected that he was going to fail another drug test.
Okay, so here's my thing, and I don't smoke, but I don't. If you smoke weed, I don't care. The only reason why it's not legal because it can't. For whatever reason, the government ain't found a reason how to monetize it.
In some states, it is legal though now.
Well, it is legal, but what I'm saying is, if I offered you, let's just say you did smoke. I'm gonna give you a hypothetical, Creek. Say if you did smoke, and I offered you $60 million not to smoke, how fast would you stop smoking?
I would stop quick, but if I wasn't an addict, I'd be able to stop quick.
But that's the thing; he has a real addiction, though.
Yeah, he does, and I think that's been downplayed a lot.
That's got to be a real addiction.
Say that again?
It has to be a real addiction because
it has to be
because it happens every year too. I mean, my dad and I was just talking about this. Randall Gregory for Cowboys drafted him not last year, the year before last.
Yeah, that's another one
from Nebraska. He would have been like a top 10 pick, top 15 pick, and then he tested positive for weed during right after the combine. So if you know that you are about to be a top 15 pick, why can't you not smoke for 2 months?
They can't help it, man. Part of it is, it's definitely, I look at it as that's definitely an addiction. But I say that with Josh Gordon because having to acknowledge the fact that you need to go to rehab, acknowledging that you have a problem is always step number one. So just the fact that he was unable to do it for so long is, problematic. But now that I'm talking, I'm like, maybe I should have said Greg Hardy.
Yeah, that's one. That's one. He's a scumbag. He should
definitely is a no-brainer. Like, okay, no, he's definitely not role model worthy.
Here's the thing. I'm a Cowboys fan. When we signed him last year, I'm like, man, why would we sign him? Like, there's certain people who just don't deserve that opportunity, because if you can't get right and you have that opportunity afforded to you that people would die for, then, like, seriously, you shouldn't deserve a second and third chance.
Right.
And like Ray Rice, even the kicker at the Giants now, the punter, whatever he is, like.
Yeah, Josh Brown.
He just admitted.
What
didn't he admit that he hit his wife?
Yeah, and treated her like a slave.
So why is he still there? Was she black? I'm just joking.
No, she's. I don't know the race of his wife,
but why is he still on? He should have been gone.
He slid that one in.
He should have been gone yesterday. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a double standard.
Yeah, I mean, we as fans, though, we allow it if it benefits us.
Now, see, this is the bullshit, though. Hold on, because I'm about to get into something else real quick. So, that coach for the Giants, right, he came out and made a statement pretty much saying that they were still supporting Josh Brown, wanting to help him see him through this and whatnot. But yet, you got coaches out there talking about they better not see their players kneeling or raising the fist.
Very true.
Or doing whatever. But you got coaches out here that's going to support a dude that just openly came out and said that he abused his wife and treated her like a slave. I mean, are you man, when I saw that, you don't understand how mad I got just thinking about the fact that in that Buffalo game, Kaepernick was the fans were saying death threats. They had shirts with Kaepernick with
the crosshairs.
Within the crosshairs and the targets and stuff like that. But then you got this dude sitting here talking about they're gonna support this known abuser. I mean, you can't. What do you say to that? How do you even? How do they come out of their mouth and do that?
Those same people, though, it's the craziest thing. Like the same people who booed Kaepernick for exercising his First Amendment constitutional right will also defend Trump for admitting to sexual assault. So,
yeah,
but it goes back to my point. Like, if you're for someone, you're going to defend it. Period. And if you don't like someone, then you're not going to defend them. So the whole Kaepernick thing doesn't make any sense because he's literally he's doing a peaceful way to exercise his First Amendment right, and then you got people like you said, Laos, who are doing way more egregious things. Like this dude has actually admitted to beating on his wife, which means not only should he be locked up, but he should, at minimum, be kicked out of the NFL.
Like, yes, but they feel as though that's
for good.
What's the analyst?
That's a personal. No, but the issue is they feel like that's a personal thing. No, that's more personal. That's not an attack against their country. It's not disrespectful to their country. It's just that man taking his wife behind closed doors and beating her, pretty much.
Ray Rice got blackballed.
Which, as he should, though.
Got blackballed, though.
As he
should have, exactly.
It should.
The same thing should happen to this dude.
It's weird.
It's
like,
the exact same treatment.
Why don't they come down with like a
heavy-handed? They'll say that the argument is there was video evidence of Ray Rice. It was undisputed. Whereas this guy is undisputed because he actually, by his own admission, that he did this stuff.
So he should still.
I mean, can you imagine? Really stop for a second and imagine that man said he treated her like a slave. You know how deplorable her living conditions must have been, like how bad he must have been treating her for him to actually admit that he was treating her like a slave. Like, damn, what was he doing? Not that we want to know, but I mean that's crazy. And he was just what was his punishment? Suspension for 1 game.
Who?
And then with pay,
right.
He'll get paid, right?
Who? Josh Brown,
the kicker.
Yeah,
kicker.
Yeah, he's suspended indefinitely, but he's suspended with pay. And this dude, like, I mean, not it don't even matter his age, but he like 37, damn near 40 anyway. So his ass need to be out of there. Like, why would you, if you were an organization? I mean, if Eli Manning did it, he still should be gone. But you can understand the organization at least trying to slow play it to the fact, quote unquote, the facts come out. But dude, you're a punter. That's not even worth the PR.
No, it's really not.
I don't know. I just think I wish the NFL would be more heavy-handed with their punishments when it comes to like domestic violence. Like it should be.
They are, but that's the thing, though.
No, they're not. Like a game or 2 games. I mean, these dudes not even getting a year. No. You get a year for more.
That's what I'm saying. For certain people, they are. For certain individuals, they are.
But it's still like 5-6 games. It's not even a year. Like these dudes be getting a year for some crazy nonsense.
Yeah, like failing drug tests.
Right, because that's something that alters performance in their mind. So that's why it's hard, because you want to penalize them for things that will hurt how they are on the field over what they deem to be personal life or whatnot.
Yeah, you don't want you don't want it to tarnish your brand. Like, I guess substance abuse, it tarnishes the brand because I don't know.
All right, so
I'm trying to find an argument for it, but it's all bullshit.
But listen, if you just right now with your job, with your real job, if you just went tonight and just whoop some ass, like went and start beating your wife or your significant other, and you got arrested for it, what's going to happen to you at your real job?
You're going to get fired.
Absolutely.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so. You should get fired. So why don't they have like a clause in their contract saying your contract is void if this happens? You think they would eliminate it?
Because you know what, though? They don't. One, because they don't want to lose the players. They want these players to play. And 2, it's almost like they feel that America or whatever is more forgiving if they do it because they see them as being overly aggressive already anyway. So it's like, I'm not saying that they kind of, they don't, it's not like you're accepting it or whatever, but I think they think that the general public gets over it quicker with an athlete as opposed to, so they don't see it as something that's as bad as what we see it as.
Kind of to your point earlier, I don't know if it was this pod or we were talking about role models. I mean, athletes just get the benefit of the doubt as long as they are performing, because as soon as they start sucking, then all of that benefit of the doubt is out the window.
Yep.
Soon as you start, going into your twilight years, that's a wrap. Like you don't get any more benefit of the doubt. But while you're on top, you can do whatever you want, and then people will forgive and forget. And that's the craziness of like fandom.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Because we were in school. We went to an undergrad. We had some damn knucklehead football players on the yard, and the ones that stayed around were the ones that produced. It's all relative because none of them were producing at a high enough level to win games. But
they weren't producing. They really weren't producing that.
Right, but I mean, even think about let's take Kobe for example. I can't even remember what his punishment was. I mean, I know eventually he was found not guilty, or did he settle out of court? I don't even remember how that played out. I remember he came back, but it was still balling out while the trial was underway. But I don't even remember how that finished. Like how that finished.
I think they settled out of court.
Okay. So, I mean, and maybe for about a year, he was the villain. But, I mean, Kobe got all types of love by the time he retired. He allegedly raped somebody.
But listen,
like ass raped it.
It was our Facebook Live. Somebody made a really good point, and this is how fans are able to do it. There's a different, and same thing with, because I think we're talking about Michael Jackson. So they're able to separate the artist from the person. So do you necessarily even care what Kobe does in his personal life as long as what he's doing on the court that matters if you're a fan? Or do you care what R. Kelly does or did in his personal life as long as he's making hits? Same thing with Michael Jackson. Like, is that – I mean, I don't know
Same thing with a kicker. He could be thrown in that category too. John or Josh Brown, whatever his name is.
He's a kicker. He's that dude. He can go.
But what if he was the most clutch kicker in NFL history?
He can